I'm Lindsay, and this is my daughter Valerie, and we are having a Biscotti bake-off with the Mandel JCC. So we are going to wait a few minutes till everyone arrives and get started. So welcome all. We are spreading positivity and joy today together. My little girl is back. If you weren't with us last week, Valerie was not here. And it was just wasn't the same without her. Hello everybody, welcome to Biscotti Bake Off. We are so excited. Valerie's never made biscotti before, so she is going to be learning right alongside with you. Hello everyone, Waxman's in the house, woo! This is a record. This is our 10th week of Tuesday bake-alongs with the JCC, and we are so honored to have the responsibility of coming and being in your homes each week for all this time. Hello everybody! Biscotti Bake-Off, we're so excited. So this is our 10th week. We have made everything from scones to cinnamon rolls to focaccia bread and blintzes, which were last week. Hopefully the sound quality is good today. I am not using my cell phone, which needs an update. So we're just gonna wait a few minutes. Hi everybody, I'm gonna lean in. Oh, hi Abby. So we are here today on a Tuesday in West Hartford, Connecticut to spread some positivity and joy. And that is what Valerie and I love to do best. And we're gonna spread that through baking, because in times of trouble, we often turn to the kitchen, and that's what we've been doing these past 2.5 months at home, and we're gonna continue doing it today. So we are gonna make biscotti, which is an Italian cookie, meaning twice baked. If you've ever had this, so often they come alongside a latte or a cappuccino if you're in a coffee house. It's just the perfect dunking cookie. I mean, you can eat them however you like them, but we bake them twice, which means they get a little bit crisp. Not necessarily dried out, but they are perfect if you're gonna dunk it in a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Hi everybody, good, I'm so glad the sound is great. Hi Carrie. So I am also very happy that we're making biscotti because I have Italian roots and I love sharing food traditions from my own family and my own heritage, and I am so happy to share them with you today. So we are here, we're gonna get started in just a minute. And like I said, so if everyone, actually I haven't said it yet, if you wanted to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, you should do that now. So truthfully, the cookie comes together very quickly. The longest part we're gonna see today is the oven time, because they're gonna go in once for 15 to 20 minutes, come out, we're gonna slice them into thin individual pieces, and then they're gonna go back in. So once we get these cookies formed, Valerie, you'll see that, you'll see how it comes along together. So if you are here, this is the first time that you're joining us, I am Lindsay Perkins of Lindsay Culinary on Instagram and Facebook. And I love partnering with the Mandel JCC. This is my daughter Valerie, 3rd grader, soon to be 4th grade. And we are getting excited about the end of the school year, and I am too, as a mom/teacher for the past 10 weeks. So we are looking forward to that last day of school in a way that we never have before. Hi Emma. And so what I'm gonna do for now is I'm just gonna go through the ingredients to make sure we're all ready to go. So we're gonna need 2 cups of flour. So Valerie and I are each making our own recipe because we need lots of cookies in our house right now. So hello. We need 2/3 of a cup of sugar. And I actually like this recipe because there's not a ton of sugar in it, which is actually pretty fantastic. Everybody will need 2 eggs. I have 4 because we're doubling our recipe. Everyone will need 6 tablespoons of soft butter. You want to hold it? See, so it's pretty soft.
It's soft.
Soft.
It's mushy.
Do you want to say 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder?
1.5 teaspoons of baking powder.
Right. And, oh, you know what? I forgot my salt. Everyone just needs a pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt.
well, half of a teaspoon of salt. If you like a little salty with your sweet, you can go a little bit more on the salt if you'd like. Hello, hey Linda, and hi Auntie Kenny. Hi everyone who's watching and supporting us for all these weeks. Thank you so much. So we have butter, 2/3 cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt. Oop, what's this, Valerie?
Vanilla extract.
Vanilla extract, which is great. I am also, if you don't have a nut allergy and you have almond extract, I am adding almond extract into my batch. I love almond. I love almond, everything flavored. And so I'm gonna do almond. Valerie's gonna do
Chocolate chips.
chocolate chip biscotti. So again, this recipe is also super versatile. You can just leave it plain. You can add different extracts to it. You can add craisins and some orange zest. You can make them, like we're doing chocolate chip. I'm doing almond. I actually have some toasted almonds that I'm gonna add to I'm gonna bend over.
I can read them for you.
That's okay, Linda, keep going. You can take the whole day off. And so, 350 degrees is your oven, and this is going to come together in the creaming method, which is the sort of traditional baking method where you blend the sugar and the butter first, and then you add other things. I also forgot, I'm going to use my hand mixer, my trusty hand mixer that I've had for a very long time. If you use your KitchenAid, that's fine. That's great. So we are going to, I'm going to move things around here so that we can start. So the method to this madness, the biscotti madness, is we're going to first, if we're ready to go, we're just going to jump in because like I said, this will take longer in the oven than it will to actually put together. So let's just get started. Welcome if you're just arriving. We're making biscotti today. So in everyone's mixing bowl, you're going to put 6 tablespoons of soft butter. So if you haven't softened your butter, pop it into the microwave. We're only, yeah, so do you want to count out 6 on there?
Yeah.
And I need to get our little spreaders.
Right there.
Right, so you can just open up your stick
Oh, and then
and you can just cut it off at that mark. You can sort of eyeball this. Just so there's 8 tablespoons in 1 stick of butter. I've pre-softened this. I actually was smart enough to leave it out from the morning. So I'm gonna eyeball mine, so 6 tablespoons. So then you just have them. We don't need to butter the pan or anything. So then you just have some nice soft butter if you are using butter in your cooking at night. So just pop it right in your bowl. And then we're gonna add to this, we're gonna add 2/3 of a cup of sugar, of white sugar. So 1 and 2. And honestly, you could even go a little bit less on the sugar if you wanted to watch your sugar. That would be totally fine too. So Valerie's got that in. She's got her butter in her bowl. Yeah, it's melted, so it's a little tricky. So at this point, I should actually mention, this is not my recipe. I did not invent biscotti. This is a recipe from King Arthur Flour. Go King Arthur. And so they suggest, which I love, is they are going to, so we're going to put our butter, our sugar, our salt. So 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Hey Valerie, do you want to mix in your sugar?
how much?
So two level scoops of that. That would be 2/3 of a cup. Austin, why don't you say hi if you're going to come through? My son, Austin, say hi. Perk. They can't see you. This is my son, Austin. He is in almost 7th grade.
2 of these?
2 of those. Yep. We got everyone home. We got my boys home.
1.
You can't see me. Austin, stop. We're live. Please. I just mentioned to all my kids to not come down and bother us, but
2 of
they
these,
did.
right?
So 2 of those, 2/3 of a cup. Perky, please with the ice. Please, Austin, come on. So, butter, sugar, salt, your 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and your baking powder. I thought this was an interesting method. I'm gonna grab my teaspoon. Valerie, it's okay.
Can I mix it?
Yep. Nope, we're not gonna mix it yet. So we're gonna add butter, sugar, salt, our baking powder. So we're gonna blend up
1 full one.
1 1/2. 1 1/2. Yep. So we've got 6 tablespoons of butter. Hey, Austin, just leave it on the table. It's okay. I don't need you clashing around.
Oh, 1/2.
Yep, you're gonna add the salt. This is an interesting recipe. So we're gonna add the butter and the sugar and the salt.
How much salt? Okay.
Half of a teaspoon, so you can do half.
Half, okay.
Yep. So you can say that.
Half of it.
So then we're just going to start. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have you guys, well, before we start blending, I'm going to have us prep our 2 eggs. If you are the kind of, unless you're the kind of person that just puts it right in the bowl without, so Valerie, then you're going to prep your 2 eggs.
Then, yep.
So crack the egg, and then you can just put it right back in this
Can I
bowl.
crack it on the table?
Sure.
Oh, that's right.
So 2 eggs, just as long as you get it in the bowl. 2 eggs. So that's going to be prepped and waiting for us.
What about the shell?
You can put the shell right here, honey. How's everyone doing? How much baking powder? 1 1/2 teaspoons.
I gotta wash my hands.
Yep, you can rinse your hands, wash them. I'm going to put my eggshells off over here. Okay, so that's just going to help us once we cream the butter and the sugar, that we don't have to stop. We can just add it then. Okay, I'm going to move this to the side. I hope everyone is keeping up and that we're not racing through. So we've got sugar, butter, salt,
Which was mine?
baking powder. Oh, sorry, Perk.
No, mine was the one that was the...
Oh, that one. She's very territorial, and I totally get it because she wants the one that was her own. Okay, so what you're going to do is we're just going to start. Oh, it would be helpful if I plugged it in. So let me just plug in this. There we go. All right. So we're just going to, this is called creaming. Yep, so I'm going to do mine first, and then if you want, Valerie's going to mix hers with a fork, but if you want to just, since we've got 2 going on here, we're both going to use the... Now, this recipe is wonderful for the holidays, if you want to make a food gift for someone, and if you double this or triple it, and if you have a big mixer, you make them and put them in little cellophane bags with a bow, and it's the best gift. All right, so I'm creaming mine. I don't know if you can see what's going on here. All right, so we're going to do that till sort of just combine, and you can see it gets a little bit light and fluffy. Woo! All right, so Valerie, do you want to switch?
Yeah.
The fork method doesn't necessarily work unless you don't have, if you don't have any sort of hand mixer, you can whisk this. I'll take it. Here, honey.
Just stick it in and turn around.
Yep. Oh, here, I have a hand towel. Do you want to wipe your finger? There you go. All right, so you can start turning it on. So you're going to just cream the sugar and the butter, the salt and the baking powder. Yeah. So that looks great. Just keep. So she's going to keep whirring it up, and then you are going to add your eggs 1 at a time. Hi, everybody. If you're just joining us. You want to switch? Yeah, you can add the egg. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna put it on a little bit higher just to sort of, so 1 at a time. Woo! Yeah. Go ahead, so you can add the other egg. You want to tell them what we're doing?
We're adding the eggs in 1 at a time.
All right, so we're adding the eggs in.
I want to do it.
Yep, and you know what? You can actually do mine too, but don't. Well, they're going to turn it off before we lift it up. So that looks actually really good. So now,
Spread the egg in yours.
yep. So we're going to switch. Here, do you want to hold it?
No.
Oh, she doesn't. All right, 1 at a time. In you go. I mean, honestly, if they both fall in, it's no big deal. I think that it's just one of those old-fashioned things that you should have them 1 at a time. And it does the liquid you add to the butter because you're adding liquid to a solid, and you just want to make sure you don't sort of overwhelm things. So go ahead, and you go. Last one. Oh, Perky. That was like a photo ad, nice and slow for the camera. Okay, so I'm going to have Valerie, while I'm mixing up.
And how much for that?
Yep, so you're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla to each bowl. So we're going to add 1 teaspoon. Truthfully, add as much vanilla as your little heart desires. You can add it over the bowl in case anything spills. So in you go.
Yours.
Yep. So there's mine. And here's Valerie's. Very good measure. Doesn't it smell delish? Smells good? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me clean up my little area. I'm also going to add some almond extract because I love almond. So I'm adding almond. It's sort of, I apologize to anyone who has the nut allergies, but we're not sharing these with anyone today. These are gonna stay in our own kitchen. Okay, so we have 2 bowls of nicely creamed butter, sugar, there's some salt, the baking powder, and our extracts. So that's what that is. I'm gonna set this to the side. So now the next step, truthfully, is just adding in your 2 cups of flour. So everyone is gonna add. Yep.
So 2.
So you can use your, yep, here's,
Oh,
I know, I overfilled it. So why don't you do this? You can do
I am, it's just puffy.
Okay. It's puffy. So 2 level scoops of flour. Hope everyone's doing okay in their kitchens. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add one at the time because we are gonna use our mixer as long as we can. So, actually I'm gonna put this over here for you. So do you wanna start measuring your 2nd cup? So what's gonna happen with this dough is when it comes together, it's gonna be pretty thick and we're gonna make it into 2 logs. All right, so do you wanna add that 2nd cup? All right, Stace, if yours is soupy or liquidy, so that now we're gonna add the flour. So we're gonna add our dries, so that should take care of all the problems. So let's see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna go as long as we can before it starts, you know, kind of like shooting all over the place. But this is a dough that we're gonna sort of, oh, there we go.
I wanna mix it.
Yep.
I just want to with my hands.
You can, but what I just want to get this dough out of here.
What does it taste like?
You're not gonna taste it yet. Not gonna taste it yet.
Can I mix it now?
You can mix it. Let me give you something to mix it with, and then just start scraping down the sides, and then we're gonna add your add-in, your topping, if you want to do chocolate chip. All right, so I'm gonna do my bowl.
Why can't I mix it with my
I want to hear from the people if it's still liquidy.
Can I mix with my hands?
Yeah, you can mix with your hands. So I'm just gonna add.
Oh, it feels so weird.
Right, so what we're doing is gonna make 2 cookie logs that we're gonna bake. Logs. Yeah, because you bake them in a log for the first bake, and then, all right, so that's that. That's my 1st cup in. So Valerie, I'm going to give you, and I'm gonna just add my 2nd cup. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for coming on, my friends and my fam, my new friends. Okay, so I'm pulling my dough together, the biscotti, the dough. Yep. So what you're gonna do after you get this you get it sort of mixed. It's not gonna come together, well, it sort of will. And I'm using a hand mixer, which I have a feeling it comes together a little bit more chunkier than if you're using a standing mixer. So I am going to clean off my beaters, and then I'm going to take this, I'm gonna set this down here. Just wanna make sure everyone can see. So Valerie, I'm gonna add the chocolate. So Valerie, you can put it in your bowl. So why don't you just put everything back in your bowl, because we're gonna add in the chocolate chips. Perky perk. Oh, there we go. I'm not really sure how much that was. It's probably about a cup. So just as Valerie's doing, she's gonna just use her hands and sort of bring the mix together. I happen to have some slivered almonds that I toasted that I am adding to mine. I'm just gonna kind of crush them up a little bit. Well, let's
Smells
see.
like cookie dough.
It does. It smells. It's going to smell and look just like cookie dough. So I am going to, I guess it is sort of inevitable that you're going to get in and use your hands. So I'm just going to sort of, so it should be thick. It's definitely a dough.
Like this?
Yep. So we're not kneading it though. We're just really, if you're going to incorporate any sort of topping or mixing, you're going to add that. You're just going to sort of bring the dough together. So I have, this is what mine looks like. This is what's in my bowl right now. Just a very little bit of.
Looks like.
Perfect. And this is what's in her bowl, in her basket. Okay. So.
Smells like cookie dough.
Right. Mine's a little more, I guess. Effervescent, not effervescent, that means bubbly, full of scentsy. Okay, so if you can see, I hope you can see what I've got going on. I'm going to go back further. So I've got mine. Yep, so you can just put it down. You can just, this does not have to be a fancy thing. We're just sort of going to shape it into a piece and we're going to cut it in half. So mine is just sort of a, sort of a rectangle, but you don't have to weigh it. You can just eyeball it. So you're going to get your dough into two pieces.
Like this, Mom? Mom.
Oh no, I haven't tried the Danish whisk. What is that?
Mom, I like this.
I'm going to have to look that up after the show. Oh, perfect, Valerie. So then just cut it.
In the middle. Okay, okay.
Oh, she has it, everyone. She's got it. She's got it. So I'm going to take away anything. So I've got my two biscotti. We're going to turn them into loaves. So what I want you to do is sort of just, you're so cute. All right, we're not going to do the cleanup now because that's what we're going to do when they're in the oven. But I'd like you to get a sheet pan.
Sheet pan.
With parchment, if you have it, or if you have your Silpat. Mine seems so soft. Maybe a little sprinkle extra more.
Soft.
Shh, Perky. A little extra flour by the tablespoon just to gently pull it together. So why don't you use this one, Valerie? So we've got a lined cookie sheet.
I need to make it square. I'm moving my stool.
Supposed to make mixing easier than the, oh, all right, I'm gonna look into that. So what we're gonna do.
Square?
Nope, so what we're gonna do, Valerie, if you just wanna watch me, I'll show you everything to do. So if you have your one piece of your dough, this is really the fastest way that I figured out to do this because you're just gonna sort of roll it.
Roll it out.
You're gonna roll it like a little log. We really just want this to be, I'm gonna go the long way on my tray.
Like this?
Yeah, Valerie, perfect. So why don't you go the long way because you're gonna do two.
Perfect.
And I have dough all over my fingers. Your fingers look, right. So then we're gonna do that with the second. We're just gonna sort of roll the dough into a log. And once it gets on the tray,
Do you know what this reminds me
I would go longer rather than like thicker because they spread a little bit, but these are not, because there's no baking soda in them, they're not going to flatten out like a pancake. But what we do want them to have is just a nice little dome. So
but
you want.
Mom, but mine looks like now it's like the cookie dough you buy and it comes in the tube. Maybe.
It does, right? So this is like the cookie dough. So I'm going to hold mine up. So this is what yours should sort of look like.
This is what mine looks like.
Hold up here, Perky. You can angle it. I got it. So we've got two of our doughs, and now I'm gonna just go through. I'm just gonna organize Valerie's just a little bit. You'd like it to be sort of the all even, like height and width. Now, after you get to making this, you can say, I'd like it thicker than. So what we're gonna do is when this bakes, I hope everyone's oven is nicely preheated to 350. So I'm sort of just going through. I swear by my KitchenAid, I know, I love mine too. Mine's 17 years old. Okay, so we've got this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sprinkle it with a little bit of sugar.
Should I put this in the fridge?
No, you can leave it. We're gonna have some time to clean up. So I'm just gonna sprinkle the top. If you have a coarse sanding sugar, which I'm actually out of, if you have coarse sanding sugar, do that. But I'm just gonna use a little sugar. Valerie, do you want to do a sprinkle?
Oh.
So just lightly on the top.
Sugar.
Sugar, a little teaspoon of sugar. I hope everyone's biscotti is coming out like this. So I would say mine's about 1.5 inches this way in width, and I don't know, that's probably about 12 to 14 inches long, 12 inches. Now, if you were doubling this, you can certainly change up the height. So what we're going to have is we're going to have about 24 1-inch little discs.
Yeah, they're a foot.
Valerie, perfect. Perfecto. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these in the oven, and we are going to set the timer for 15 minutes. Valerie, voila. Anything else? The last little bit? All right, so we're getting ours in the oven. We're going to go 15 minutes. Timer. And we're going to use this time while everyone's sort of getting theirs into the oven. We're going to clean up our counters. I'm going to wash my hands. Hi, everybody. Oh, they're watching.
Who's over?
Juliana. So I'm going to wash out. Valerie, do you want to get up there and smile and say anything? Is there anything So we are going to use this time to clean up our kitchen and tidy up. So truthfully, they're going to bake for 15, probably 20 minutes in this first bake. Then we're going to take them out of the oven, let them rest for a few minutes, and then we're going to take a knife and thinly slice them into pieces. Yep, if you make one big square, they will be bigger and longer too. Yep, so you can also do that so is that Anne-Marie? Anne-Marie, they're gonna bake for 20 minutes in this first round, and then we're gonna take them out and then slice them in 1-inch thicknesses all the way down that log. And then they're gonna go back in for about 10 minutes so then we're gonna reduce the heat to 325, and they're gonna go back in to sort of just like finish cooking on the inside, and then they're gonna get nice and not dried out. That sounds sort of not, tasty, but they're going to dry out enough so that they get perfectly dunkable. So I'm gonna just kind of tidy up. I'm gonna put my extracts away. Valerie, what are you doing? Are you doing the dishes?
No, I'm swooshing around.
You're swooshing around? Okay. And so I was thinking about what we're gonna do next week, and since it is Valerie's last week of school, she's done with school on Thursday at
No, I'm done on 11.
The 11th?
11, yeah.
I think that's Thursday.
Oh.
It's Wednesday or Thursday. We don't even know what day it is anymore, and I don't expect you guys to, but we will know. I know by my Tuesday cooking class is what day it is. So we thought it'd be really fun for next week to have...
Wait, what do we do? Pizza party!
We're gonna have an end of the school year pizza party. Moms, dads, grandparents, and especially the kids who are excited about beginning summer. And so we are going to do that. We are going to share the recipe for dough, and it's sort of a quick pizza dough recipe, and I don't want anyone to stress out about conjuring together any fancy ingredients. You can just use a jarred sauce. So if you make pasta anytime this week and you happen to just save a half of a cup of it, or you have extra pasta sauce, we're gonna use jarred sauce, or in the ingredients, I'll have instructions if you want to make it from crushed tomatoes and all that fun stuff. So that will be coming out in the next few days, so look for that. So we're gonna have an end of the school year pizza party. Woo-hoo. Yay! I'm excited for it. I really am. And that was another thing that we're gonna I sort of want to take a poll, because now that the school year is ending, I want to know what time is good if we were to continue to doing some cooking classes with the JCC throughout the summer. I need to know when you guys want to do them. So do we want to stick with Tuesdays at 1, or do you think you'll be outside during that time or doing summery things? Should we move it to the morning? Should we move it till later?
Later.
So would you want to do it later?
Then I could play outside the whole day and then bake.
Right, but would you want to come and do a cooking class at, say, 4 p.m. or something? I mean, what do you mean later? Or maybe something, we could do a fun one at night. We could do something at maybe like 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we're open. We might switch it around each week depending on what the feedback is, so we don't have to kind of set anything in stone, but we really need your feedback because we want you to come. So if we're doing this in a time when you're not available, then you won't come. And so we want to serve you, our wonderful bakers and cooks and friends. Oh, Aunt Ona, that sounds like a good pizza recipe. I think we should do the weekend. I'm open to the weekend. Like, what about something on a, like a Saturday or Sunday morning? I'm open to that idea. So we're really open to anything. And as long as you guys want to keep coming, I'll keep coming. So same time or earlier, love that. So we might try different options one week. Maybe we'll try a weekend one. Another time, maybe we'll try, we could do the same thing. Or we were even saying, depending on the weather, if we see that it's going to be a rainy day. So thank you. So keep the comments coming. I wanted to see kids with camp or anything. I know. So we want to take into factor that that's going to happen too. So I like that idea. We could also sort of mix it up and not just do sort of baking. If we did something later for dinner time, we could do something like, more savory, she's copying me. I talk with my hands. I am Italian. So hopefully your kitchens are starting to same time or earlier. I like that idea too of doing something in the morning. Valerie, Linda, who works with Daddy, was saying, you are so cute and funny. That's just what she needs to hear. So our biscotti is baking, and I'm going to just grab my flour. So I hope you're cleaning up your kitchens.
Cleaning up your kitchens.
Valerie, do you want to talk to them about anything about you learning in school today? Oh, tell them what you just did.
What?
Your 12's table test.
Oh, I did my 12's table test.
Tell them what that entailed.
What does that mean?
So Valerie's been working on her times tables, and
The whole year.
for the whole year, it's been exhausting. And now they're at 12.
That's the last one.
This is the last one. And so what they do is they have a sheet of paper.
And we have to do it, the whole sheet, it's usually 100 or, the test I had was 60 questions, and we have to do it all in 3 minutes.
Right, so they're timed. So
And
I
if
have
we don't
to time
pass, we have to do it again.
Oh, well, I mean, that's big. So anyway, just before this started, we were running numbers all morning long on our 12s, and we got them. I actually forgot some of them because I haven't.
I remember.
So we were all about the 12s time morning.
2 hours.
And she did it. She got every single one in 3 minutes because they ask you them in different patterns. So they could ask you 12 times 5, 7 different times throughout this whole grid, and you just had to go very, very quickly. And it seems effective, and it seems like we all know our times table. So we are getting all sorts of education while we're learning at home. And so we can't wait for summer to start to sort of take a little bit of the academic work out of it. That doesn't mean that our learning and our baking ends. So I'm thinking, I want to check the questions. 7 would be cool.
7.
Oh, you forgot to add vanilla. Oh, that's okay, Stacy. Don't worry. It's fine. What did everyone add for toppings? Did you guys add anything in there? Anything?
I added chocolate chips.
Oh, yes. So our friends at the J just posted that all of these 10 bake-alongs are posted on the Mandale JCC's YouTube page. If you want to go back and check any of those out, see how far we've come, that would be a great thing too. And we are, Valerie, anything else to add? What else did we do today? Oh, we went and we picked up our Sardelli order, which is our food, our local family and has a food distributing produce and dairy. So we picked up our veggies and our fruit.
And our dairy.
They added chopped almonds. So these are what people added into their biscotti chocolate chip. Can you read that far? I think I might need glasses
I
for
can
distance.
read fine.
So what does it say?
I just quadrupled the almond extract.
That's my cousin Carrie. Same Carrie.
Yes,
Oh, good. So you can head right to YouTube, Linda. Great. So that is good too. That is good. So anyone else doing anything fun for their summer vacations?
Craisins are great to add too.
I know that the JCC has many camp options. Got to give that a plug, obviously. So if you haven't checked it out, not quite sure what's going on with virtual, in person, and all that stuff as sort of the guidelines keep changing. And so head to the JCC's website because they have awesome summer camps. Remember when you went to sports jam camp at the JCC?
It wasn't at the JCC, it was in the...
No, it was at the pool. It was at the swim and tennis club, I believe they called it, the swim and tennis club. They have this great facility if you are...
And giant water slide.
Giant water slide. You have to pass the test before you go down the water slide. It is a rite of passage for kids in our area. And so, getting a pool and a dog, awesome. Oh, camping all summer. So,
Oh, that sounds fun.
JCC pool, yep. So we love the JCC pool. We've always loved the JCC pool snack bar too. So that's always a fun thing to do. Going down that big water slide. So anyway, so they have camps there that are held on the grounds of the pool and tennis club. It's in Bloomfield, right over the West Hartford line. Just leave that, Perky.
Okay.
And so you drop off there, and then they do, typically in a typical summer, they do a full day or a half day programs that you of all different sorts. So my kids did a sports jam camp.
They had karate camp too.
They have karate camp, and then there's just kids from all over. All the different schools come. You see so many friends there. You have the water slide, and I know they have water, aerobics classes. Our neighbor is Bonnie, and she actually teaches a lot of the aquatics programs at the JCC.
Aquatics, that's a funny word.
Aquatics. Cora and Titus's mom, our dogs. We know everyone in our neighborhood by their dogs because we have a dog too, so we know everyone by their dogs. So we are looking forward to the summer. We're looking forward to a schedule where we just can sort of relax for a little bit and enjoy being in each other's company without sort of the schoolwork looming over us. And so we can't wait to see. And if you have any ideas of stuff that you want to make this summer, send them my way. Oh, good. Yeah. She put in the website for the swim and tennis club. Very reasonable too, I believe, the membership, which is great. So if you're looking for a spot to cool off and have fun, that's always a good one. And what else should we discuss? I've got 3 minutes left in my first 15 minutes, so this is good. So this is really, this is a point that, they're in the bottom, but don't open it, honey. I'll put the light on. That one might be cleaner to look through, is it? So these biscotti are truly a recipe. You can get them going and kind of go about your business, clean your day, clean your house. You can sort of multitask while you've made the biscotti, and if you make it a lot, you'll see that it comes together quite quickly. Ooh, fresh fruit tart, fruit pizza. Ooh, I love that idea. I want to do something like s'mores brownies too.
No, you want good?
Fruit pies, Pop-Tarts. What about that? We could do fruit or brown sugar Pop-Tarts. Totally doing it. Yeah.
Another fun thing is if you put get a pizza crust, but you put marshmallows and chocolate, and then you put it in the oven and take it out, and then you can just dip stuff in it.
Ooh, so tell them.
What?
It's do you think is that like a s'mores pizza or just a
regular pizza? You just put it in like any pan or crust.
Yep.
And then you put like chocolate on the bottom, then marshmallows, then you put it in, and then the marshmallows get golden brown, and then you can just dip stuff in it, and it's like a dip.
I love that. I love getting looking at food through the eyes of a child. It's always so delicious. Yay!
Oh yay!
Fruit pies. I love that. You know, I love doing too. Galettes. I can never say it right, but they're so easy because it's just pie dough that you roll out, and it's really rustic and free form. And then you just fill it with blueberries or apples or berries or a combination of everything, and like a little flour and some zest and a little bit of sugar, and then you just fold up the sides halfway around so that some of the fruit is still exposed, and then you just throw it in the oven. Bam. Like, it's the easiest freeform pie and so good. Dessert pizza, Nutella and banana. I love it, Erica. Hey, Erica. Hi. So hopefully your kitchens are starting to sort of smell like biscotti, depending on if you use almond extract or not, like me and my cousin Carrie did. So that's that, And so let's see. Oh gosh, those look so good. So I'm gonna let those finish out their first bake. Then I'm gonna take them out, show you a little bit about what they look like, and we're gonna have biscotti. Are they supposed to be a dark brown? No.
Let me see the color.
So they should just be, I'll show you mine. Mine are,
They're supposed to be like a dough color still.
right. So let me see, Perky. I'm gonna grab my oven mitts.
Of mitts. Wait, whose handprints are on those?
That's yours. Hold on.
My
Okay, so I'm
Is that
gonna
mine?
nope.
That's mine. No,
Valerie,
that's mine.
shh. No, they're not because this is almond. Okay, so these are mine, and I have a little bit of a light shining on this, so you can see they're not golden brown. I mean, they're not brown by any rate, by any stretch. And
Maybe your oven is just very, very new and powerful.
maybe you have a very powerful oven. So if you are seeing some over aggressive browning at this point, I would say turn your oven down. But we are gonna leave ours in there. I'm gonna just set my timer for an additional 5 minutes because I like how they're going, but I don't want to rush it and don't want to cut them too soon so they're not super doughy in the middle. They can be slightly doughy in the middle. Oh, you were looking at the picture. Okay, yeah, I know. I think there was some serious photo editing in that picture, which is usually what happens. Items what they are not as they seem when you look at beautiful food photography. And I'm sort of guilty of that too. And sometimes, you know, I usually edit some of my food photography so that it
Looks better.
looks a little bit more appealing
Good
and has good lighting. And so,
and good settings.
okay, good. Chocolate babka challah.
I don't know what that
Remember chocolate babka challah. Oh my gosh, we
What's that? I don't
that
know.
is a babka challah hybrid.
babka.
You know, I'd love to do that, but it took like 4 hours to make that. So because what happens is the chocolate in the challah dough and the babka, so you roll it and you braid it and it's the most gorgeous thing. But because it takes a long time to rise, because there's it's a heavy dough with egg and sugar and chocolate, and so I'd love to do it. It would just, we'd have to do like a 2-part story or a Facebook Live. Like all right, so like make your dough, sign off, come back in an hour. So I don't know if you want to go that route, but that is a good recipe, and I found that recipe. I think it was like Bon Appetit. So if you're Googling chocolate babka challah,
What is babka?
that's a very, very good. Oh my gosh, babka is just like this delicious bread. Yeah, s'mores brownies, Abby, you know it.
s'mores brownies.
I have this great recipe for it. It's just a 1 bowl homemade brownie mix. Then you bake it, and I actually was researching this last night, and I planned.
Donuts!
Ooh, donuts. I have, well,
You do have donut
baked.
pans.
I have plenty. I have 7 donut pans, but I don't know if everyone else does. So that was really more what I want to do, what I want to see. What if people have? I love
Or
that.
they could just make a giant like circle donut, and it's like giant donut ever.
Yes.
It's like this big.
You could. You absolutely could.
And like
I have this great.
a
I have a
pan.
great cinnamon spice, a great pumpkin spice donut mix.
The little pumpkin spice donut. The ones
what's
you make
that?
are good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so we have that going on. We have lots of exciting things planned for summer. I mean, sort of not really traveling, obviously, but what are you doing?
Scribbling.
So, Valerie, do you want to show them? These are Valerie's oven mitts.
Oh, wait, when did I make
That when
these?
she was in
Oh,
preschool. They made this as a Mother's Day gift. You can't see the date anymore, and so I don't know when it was, but it was sometime in the past 9 years. And now, what does your hand look like? much bigger. So those are the most thoughtful gifts, obviously, when our wonderful schools think of this. And that's another one too. Yeah, little kid prints. Oh, muffins are good. Oh, I want to make the blueberry muffins. It's that recipe. It's from like the Ritz-Carlton. I was just saving that
Is it a
recipe.
hotel?
So we could do like you could mix either do chocolate. Yeah, we're gonna definitely do muffins. Your best yellow or white. Oh yeah, I have a great. We could just do a. I love that idea too. Of a cake, you know, like a single layer cake with like whipped cream and fresh berries. Cake pops, oh my gosh. So I used to work at Truffles Bakery in Farmington. Love them. Love you, Shannon and Gil, the owners there, and all the wonderful people that I know that still work there. Cake pops, I guess there's just a cake pop failure because you really have to.
They're doughy.
They are doughy, but I just
That's
could
the
never
best
get it
part.
to stick. I mean, I guess I could, and that's actually a great lesson, just because you have to really kind of master that. Valerie, do you want to say goodbye before you sign on? Quick, come here and just say a quick goodbye.
Bye, gotta go.
Valerie has her 1:45 Zoom, so I'm gonna finish up your biscotti, or you can sit right there and do it. Just put your headphones on. Cake pops for July 4th. Yep, love that. I think that's a great idea too. Have you guys checked your ovens? Have you guys checked it? Are you guys past the first? I am, because now I'm almost at 20 minutes.
Okay, I gotta go.
Oh my gosh, Emma, that's really where it began for you and me. Emma, is he still going in there for those turnovers? Oh my gosh. Oreo balls. I love that idea. Okay, so if yours have sort of, I think I'm gonna put them back in. I just don't want to rush this stage. So these are Valerie's. Okay, Valerie, thank you, sweetie. Off to Zoom. Zooming off. So mine, I don't know why, mine actually have this really cool, I'll say really cool cracking. I do love that because I love rustic stuff. So I'm gonna just put them back in the oven for just 5 more minutes because you don't want it to rush this next step. So I want, oh, hey Michelle, welcome, hi from the library. It isn't the same without me there, Emma. That's cute. So Emma, she's a dear friend. She's actually my brother's wife's first cousin. Figure that out. And her dad used to come into Truffles and see me this is going back, I don't know, 15 years. And so probably more than that. And that's how I first met Emma and her family, through Truffles. And then her cousin ended up marrying my brother. And now she works at the JCC. It's just full circle, full circle. Okay, yes, so at this point, yes, they're gonna be soft, but I put mine back in because I think that so they're not gonna be fully cooked in the center at this point, but they're gonna be almost cooked. And mine just weren't there yet. And probably because because I have 2 sheet pans, I'm using I have an interesting oven. I love my oven. I have it's a double oven. The first is just a half oven, so it only is one rack, and then the bottom is 2, and I never usually use the 2. I always just use that top one, but because we had 2 full sheet pans, I used my bottom, so I think that's why it's taking a little bit longer. So yes, they're going to be soft. They will not be soft by the time this whole process is over. So yes, so I would just say keep on keeping on, and then we're gonna check back in a couple of minutes to see what happens. So yes, and I want to know, what are you guys? Are all of our 5th graders who are graduating from elementary school? That must be happening within this next week or so. So proud of all of them, all of our high school seniors, all of our college seniors. Now everything's sort of getting real, and that our town graduations are going to happen as drive-in styles, which is so wonderful. So I'm really proud of all the kids that I know personally, and all of my friends' kids that are graduating, having all these special times. If they're white but a little golden on this side, should we take them out? Abby, press down on the top of it and see. It should be a little bit soft, but we don't want it to be too doughy. Oh, not enough room in the wall oven. Yeah, I know. I would like to have a double oven. I don't know. I like to design my own oven. Oh, 5th grade right here. Woohoo! Yay! You, I'm sure, are going to have a wonderful time in middle school. Congratulations. I love that. It's such a big rite of passage. Oh, yes. Go 5th graders. And hopefully we'll be back in those buildings in the fall. That would just be the goal. And so many of you know this, many of you don't know this. I work at an independent day school in West Hartford called Kingswood Oxford. Go Wyverns. And I am missing going to work every day. And who would ever thought I'd say that, but I do. I miss the routine. I miss all the high school students. and they're still a little soft. Yeah, so I put mine back in, Abby. And so you want to make sure that this step you go through. So they will not be, it's not going to be a big hard cookie at this point. That's going to happen in our second bake. So yes, I know they're still a little soft. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Do you have any foodie questions? Have you guys been eating out? Have you been supporting local businesses? What's really been going on? Are you guys feeling like you're going to, you know, venture out into the world a little bit more? Yeah. We're taking baby steps here in West Hartford. Yes, we are. We're taking baby steps with reason, within reason. So yes. So hopefully you guys are sitting in nice clean kitchens while we're waiting on the oven. And I'm still trying to think what I'm gonna make for dinner tonight with all my new veggies that I picked up in my, it's not a farm share, but it's in my produce and veggie share, which is good. So, oh, if you try it, I think that you really like it. Go Sardilli. They're really, really, really great. And what I love the most about this, it's a local, if you're in Hartford, they have preset boxes of fruits and veggies. Oh, there's my timer. So they have a different theme every week. And oh yeah, I'm happy with these. So I'm gonna take Valerie's out. So this was now 20 minutes. Yep. So I'm just touching the top and my little almondy ones. Okay. So I've got my almond ones. I love how they're looking pretty rustic. Now just be careful on all this maneuvering. If you are, I'm just gonna grab my favorite spatula here and peek under. Oh yeah, so the bottom on these guys are golden brown. So now what we're gonna do, I mean not fully golden brown, but they are, you know, heading towards fully golden brown. Oh, Valerie's actually is fully golden brown. So it looks like that on the bottom, but it's gonna get more once we do this second bake. So we're gonna leave these out now, and I'm gonna set my timer for 5 minutes, but we're just gonna see. Oop, that's cook. And now I'd like you to get, depending on what stage you're in, you can get, we're not gonna cut anything yet. Ooh, gazpacho, I love that. Ooh, oh, roasted veggies with, oh, that's great. Oh, I have quinoa, I might do that too. Roasted quinoa with veggies. So we're gonna let our cookies sort of rest and cool down a little bit. I have a kitchen knife, though also I'm gonna grab my favorite serrated knife. I don't think I'm gonna use this serrated. Serrated just means that there's little grooves in the knife. This is the knife that I've had since culinary school in, I don't even know what year that was. It was a while ago. And so you get it when you go to culinary school, you order, and part of your supplies are a big tool kit with all sorts of kitchen goodies that I am still using to this day. So these are gonna sort of just relax for a minute, and then we're going to slice them. And this next part is really, I'm not gonna rush this because we've taken it this far together and you're all still here, so that's good. So we are going to let them come out, and so if yours, 2003, and maybe it was 2003, because I had Austin in 2007, and that was way before him. So yeah, I think it was 2003, and those are fun times. So when you go to culinary school, you have to do an internship, which is how I got led to truffles, and it's just been a full circle world since then. So I think everyone's going to be at sort of different stages here, taking out their biscotti. And so this is not golden brown on the top. Actually, mine wasn't when I made it the other day. And it doesn't need to be. This is not one of those cookies that needs to be like we saw in that picture. deeply golden brown. I mean, we didn't put an egg wash in it. There's no reason, egg wash on it. There's no reason why it should be sort of golden brown. Ooh, Taco Tuesday. Oh, you know what I was thinking about? I'm gonna make tortillas. Abby, we have like minds. I always have known that. Okay, I'm not gonna rush it. We still have 2 minutes, and I want to make sure that you guys are with me. So yes, and it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Oh wow, tuna steak with rosemary potatoes and then steamed. Oh, that sounds delicious. I love that idea. Tunas, I like that. And so then we're going into this weekend, and I'm so excited that my students at Kingswood Oxford are having their graduation on Saturday in a sort of drive-in style at the campus, which we're gonna work so hard to make it perfect for them and their families, even when it's not perfect circumstances. So we're gonna do that. That's what I get to look forward to. And we're doing car parades on campus, where we're doing the reverse car parade, where the teachers come to campus and the students drive through and wave and their families. So we're doing that on Friday. I have a job of blowing up lots of red and black balloons, which I will happily do for all of those awesome kids. So yes, a minute left. All right, so at this stage, we're letting the cookies just sort of rest so that they're just not screaming hot when you go to cut into them. So I just want you to be careful. If you are not, if you don't bake a lot, I'm gonna turn the camera down just a little bit so that you can see the cookies. All right, so oven is still on at this point because they're going back in. And so actually, once they come out, you can turn it down to 350 because 325, sorry, excuse me, it was already on 350. So you're gonna turn your oven down to 325. So the second step, this is not necessarily to cook the cookie, but it's going to dry the cookie out. And I'm explaining it wrong, but I'm pretty sure most of you have had a biscotti in your life so that you know that they are crisp. These are not going to be so hard that you could, break a tooth on them. You could go there. It just depends on how long you want to bake them on this second step. I think 10 minutes is fine when you do that. And then once they come to room temperature, they naturally sort of get a little bit crisp. There is my timer. So these cookies, they are sitting here and they have, so I'm just going to turn my sheet pan. Just please be careful with your fingers when you're doing this. So I'm going to try a couple of different things. So I might use I'm just going to move my cookies so that I can cut them on the sheet pan. You don't need to leave them off. And I'm just going to cut off just a little bit on the end. So there's your there's your taste. And then you're just going to go down. Oh yeah, perfect. You're just going to gently go down about 1 inch thick pieces. Now this is where you could go super thin. I mean, as thin as so that they wouldn't break apart. I think 1 inch, 3/4 to 1 inch is the perfect size thickness for these. And I'm just using this is my wonderful 6-inch kitchen knife that I got at Cook Shop Plus. I love it. I want to just show you this because I'm not saying I'm a small dainty female, but this is an 8-inch chef knife on the top right here, and this one is so much more comfortable to cut with. This guy is just so heavy. So I use this when this one's dirty. I don't feel like cleaning it. So this one, if you're looking for a chef knife, this one's usually on sale for like $60, and it's lasted me for years, and it does last for years and years beyond that. If you're looking for something that this is just my workhorse. I use it every single day. Everything from cutting biscotti to, chopping veg. So if you're looking for a knife. So, yep, I'm not even gonna add my serrated knife into this picture. So I'm just gonna keep cutting through. So you're gonna cut off just a little piece of the tip, just so that you can have a little taste. And then you just go down. And And I think you just want to make as direct, you don't want to sort of hack and saw back and forth. I think just one sort of deliberate cut down will do the trick. And I'm going to just cut a little bit of the tip off on the back end. So now I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I've got 24 cookies. Awesome, awesome. So then what you're going to do is you're just going to spread them out so that there's a little air can get in between each one, which is what's going to help. I mean, honestly, you could spread them out in any way so that, because that's what's going to help. So I have cut them, and I'm just going to show you this. So these are my gorgeous little almond biscottis. That might not be the best angle, but I think it sort of serves the purpose of just showing you that's the width. And I'm, you know, they're pretty perfect if you ask me. So, oh, I have to look at the comments about how many slices per log. So I got 12 per log. So I do sharpen my knife myself, but if you, I need to have them professionally serviced. I know that about the knife, but I use I think it's called a steel that came with the knife set. All right, so now I'm gonna do Valerie's. I won't say that too long. And so these are perfectly, these are perfectly cooked. I'm so glad I took that extra 5 minutes. And her log is actually more perfect. I think she worked her dough a little bit more than mine did, so it's actually just beautiful. And the chocolate chip biscotti, I mean, you really can't beat that. So that's that. So that's her first log. I hope everyone is at a certain different point in their kitchen. I hope you guys, I don't know if you're at your cutting stage yet, but I hope that you are, because we've all sort of started around the same size. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So you should get about 11 or 12 if you're doing 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch slices. And I tell you, these are good anytime. In 3 days they'll still be good, and you can, you know, if they last that long. So next time you make these, I would double the recipe. Then you can make 4 logs. And honestly, what you do, if you're gonna double the recipe, you wouldn't add in any of your mix-ins until they were individually in their mini logs. So then you could make, you know, some of them chocolate chips, some of them with dried cranberries. So that's how you really can, you know, for any sort of holiday that you were gonna gift these for, or just make a big platter to bring. All right, so these are Valerie's. Yep. So we have 48 cookies here in my kitchen. How did I ever get so lucky? And you know what? I will take it, because any little sweetness that we can bring into our lives right now, we're gonna do. Okay, so we're putting these back in the oven for 10 minutes. And we've turned down the heat because we're not looking to, they'll sort of continue cooking, but we're just really looking to sort of on a lower heat. I'm gonna turn my screen back up so you can see me. So hopefully you are in the stages of cutting and you are pleased with what you see on your baking tray, that they didn't spread that much. So now you know, if you wanted to make longer biscotti, you would just make it in one larger disc. That might take longer to cook, I'm thinking, in that first step, and then slice them into, you could have them, you know, honestly, you could have them 4 or 5 inches, as long as you would like. So it just depends on what your purpose is. If you're just making them for a treat, or you're gonna just make them to serve with a cup of coffee. I love this smaller size. And you just pop them in a little gift bag if you want to share. So keep this recipe, because truthfully, the recipe is a King Arthur flour recipe. I would never take credit for someone else's work. And it was just King Arthur flour vanilla biscotti, and they are as you can see, if you can see on my counter, I just scored a 10-pound bag of flour. Most of the stores are back with basically everything that you need by now. But I saw it and I thought, I got Big Y last week and I was like, I need it, even though I already have plenty of flour. But it was one of those things where, and it was actually only $10, which I know that's not, for a grocery store price, that was actually a very good price. So hopefully your biscotti are back in the oven and for the second bake, and we'll just take it through there. We'll just do that. So let me know how you all are doing, if you are baking along, and if you are not. I love hearing what everyone's baking and cooking. And oh, I made this awesome, since we have a little time for show and tell, if you want to make another delicious recipe, as you can see, there's not much left. This was and it's huge. This is a pretty big bundt cake. This was a recipe for East 67th Street lemon cake that I found on the New York Times cooking site. And wow, and it's the ingredients are just so simple that it really was just flour, milk, eggs, sugar, a ton of lemon zest. And I added almond because I love almond, as we've already discussed today. So, oh good, Abby, I'm so happy you like how it came up. So I posted that. If you're not following me on Instagram, you can go ahead and find me there at Lindsay Culinary, or on Facebook at Lindsay Culinary, Lindsay with an AY. So I shared I love taking food photography, and so I did this. So my friends, I am so happy that you guys are enjoying a new recipe today. And if you've never made biscotti before, I'm so pleased, because it's always good getting ready to fire up the, oh wow, oh wow, that's so exciting, fun. So anyway, I love following you guys back too. If you guys reach out and say hello, I would love to see what you're cooking up to. It is a two-way street, obviously. When you build a food community, you just can't have it one way. I don't think so. I would love to see what you are making. Oh, good. Oh, hi, Rochelle. How are you? I was wondering where you were. Yep, you can watch the replay. So what we're doing is we're taking it to our final moments of our biscotti bake-off, our second bake, and we are going to finish up when that's over. The full recipe is listed. Hi, Jamie. It's listed. I'm going to post it, and I think I'm going to add it into the comment section when I get off here. So I'll add that full recipe. Or you could just Google King Arthur Flowers vanilla biscotti, and that's the whole recipe. That's where I got the recipe. And it's a very good one. I'm hoping everyone who thought they had soupy batter at first was pleasantly surprised at how that they turned out. So yes, so we're just gonna keep baking it through. And so I wanna see if you have any pictures after you can share with me. And I was doing a little bit of reading today, as I know a lot of us have been, and seeing what's going on. I was reading about this concept in Judaism called Tikkun Olam, and I really sort of understand that, and it sort of, caught my attention because especially during this time, it means repair the world. And I think by doing good acts and behaving in a way that is responsible, not just for yourself, but for the whole of society, I think that it's just really important to note right now. And I just want you, I know that many of you who are following, obviously this is through the JCC, and that you know that term, and it really sort of jumped out at me today when I was seeing some people posting, and repair the world, and we're all going to do our part to do that. And it's a big task, and I know that baking and doing little acts like this are a way to spread positivity and love, and that's what I try and do. And so I just wanted to mention that, because we can't really ignore everything that's going on, and we haven't this whole time, because we're certainly, why we're baking is because of a national and global pandemic. And so I think if we all keep that in the back of our minds and learning about other religions and what they believe and how they believe and spreading that too, I think is a really, really important thing so that we can all understand each other. And so that is what I have to say about that. So thank you. I was so happy to come across that phrase and now and put it into my verbal Rolodex, I'll say. So with that, I'm gonna check on my biscotti and see. So now this step, you could let these go for 20 minutes, it just depends. So they're not really gonna brown and burn at this point because we've lowered the heat. I mean, they would if you left them in there for an hour, but this is really gonna be it's really to your taste. So mine still has 2.5 minutes on it. And so I'm gonna let that go to the end and then I'm gonna leave it at 10 minutes because I made these the other day and that's all that you need. But if you prefer more of a crisp cookie, and well, there is some carryover cooking and so that will happen as well, which just means they're gonna keep baking for a little while on your sheet pan after you take them out of the oven. And so with that and the carryover cooking, that's as plenty enough of a dunkable cookie that I am happy to eat, and I think that you guys will too. So it's really, so taste it, see what you like, and then if you want to bake them even longer. I know that some store-bought biscotti, they're like super crisp and crunchy. These are more, I would say, on the soft side, but soft but not but in its own way because they're homemade, and so there's not, the shelf life is really as long as it takes you to eat them. So they're not made to last for 3 months on a grocery store shelf. So we're gonna see what that's like. And if you wanted to dip these, if you wanted to get fancy and you wanted to melt some chocolate chips, or if you had a little ganache or white chocolate, you could dip half of it and the one side of it in some melted chocolate and then sprinkle it with little sprinkles, or do a drizzle if you want to get fancy, which is, I think that's too. I think that is too. So hopefully you guys had a great afternoon today. Yes, exactly. Softer is better on your teeth. Yep. Softer is better on your teeth. And yeah, you definitely you're not going to break your teeth on this particular biscotti, but you'll really, really enjoy it. And I hope you figure out different ways to mix it up, and it should become, and if you like, you could have added anise, you could add any sort of other flavorings, lemon, or of course we added almond, but so really the sky's the limit with these cookies, and so you can have a lot of fun with them. You could just add sprinkles, colored rainbow sprinkles would be so fun and festive, which I think I'll probably do next time. I can't believe I didn't think of that today. Where is my mind? So thank you so much. Thank you all so much for coming. And I think when you guys, what's gonna happen now is I'm gonna pull mine out. Yep, because I have 20 seconds left on my second bake. So I'm gonna pull these guys out. Oh. And so this is what they look like. They don't look much different than when I put them in the first time. Other than that, if you do a gentle touch on the side of one of them, they'll feel a little bit dry, which is what you want. So now these are going to finish baking like this, and that's what they're gonna cool them, and you're gonna eat them and hopefully make a cup of tea and enjoy your afternoon. And it's kind of a little bit of a chilly spring day. So with that, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for baking with me. Many of you, 10 weeks now, we've been together baking through this pandemic, and we're gonna keep going. So I hope that you, if you haven't already, or let me know if you haven't, you can email me, text, or whatever. What times do you guys want to keep baking through the summer? I loved all the feedback that we already got. That's a great place to start. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much. I hope I brought a little happiness and love into your kitchens today. You certainly brought some in mine, because Lord knows I needed it and was feeling a little down. And baking was a great way to turn that around. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next Tuesday, pizza party, end of school year. Let's get crazy. So we're gonna have fun on that one. Everyone deserves pizza or more after this past 10 weeks. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, JCC. Love you guys. Thanks to all my friends who keep watching and commenting and just your general support. It means so much to me and to Valerie. And we will see you next week. Thank you, thank you. Bye, everybody. Bye, fam. Baking fam. We'll see you soon.